Hi, welcome back to another Gadget Report. Let's talk gadgets. And today we are talking about our Flying Kangaroo. It looks like it hit troubled waters again. In July, there was, in the 30th of June, to be more precise, there was another problem with Qantas. The frequent flyer system has been hacked, and apparently some information have been taken from nearly 6 million customers. Now there's a class action that has started, and today I'm going to talk about this. So come with me. Let's talk gadgets. So let's talk gadgets. And again, looks like our Flying Kangaroo has hit another problem and doesn't look good. So on the 30th of June, it was all over the news that Qantas frequent flyer system has been hacked. According to Australian Aviation, AI was used to impersonate one of Qantas employees and request a Filipino service operator to provide customers' information. So this is according to an article on Australian Aviation. I will leave all the links below so you can also read and access to this information. Apparently, no group has claimed this attack, but there are suspicions that a group called Scattered Spider may have been responsible. The attack compromised nearly 6 million of accounts. So this was all the information that was provided to the media at the time. And almost 6 million frequent flyer customers were affected, including yours truly. So, in response, Qantas CEO Vanessa Hudson, who was not in the country at the time, she was on holidays in the UK, she provided an update and said that Qantas had put additional measures in place to further protect their customers. Well, although it came a little too late. The problem was already done and the hack had already happened. Frequent flyer customers, just like myself, received information, and I must say that has been information provided to customers. Received an email informing them that of the accident and saying that no credit card or password information had been compromised in the attack. According to Qantas email, only names, addresses, dates of birth and phone numbers seem to be affected, which it's already a problem when you have the date of birth, name, email addresses. It's a lot of personal information, I would say. Now, after all of this, again, our Flying Kangaroo involved with another scandal. The law firm Maurice Blackburn has started a class action against Qantas. This is the same law firm that was involved in a former class action that saw Qantas paying compensation for unfair dismissal to 1,820 workers. If you remember, I think I have done a video about this. There had been workers that were unfairly dismissed after the pandemic to then hire offshore and contractors and stuff like that. So it was obviously unfair because the airline still needed those workers. They just wanted to buy or to hire on the cheap, which is obviously unfair. The airline was forced to pay 120 million in compensation after the federal court ruled in the workers' favor. So this law firm is now involved yet in another class action against our Flying Kangaroo, and this time the law firm is seeking compensation for the affected Qantas customers. In a press release from the firm, which I also leave the links below, the principal lawyer, Elizabeth Hoshea, launched a complaint with the officer of the Australian Information Commissioner, OAIC, and the company awaits their response in relation to the airlines failing to protect their customers' information. If you are a frequent flyer with Qantas, you can sign in for this class action. I also leave the link below, and you can join in by filling in the form. I already did. You can fill in the form with your name, I believe your frequent flyer number, all of that information that they require, and they obviously will provide you with more information as it becomes available. Just to add to this video, this morning, because I received an email from Qantas about my frequent flyer points, and I was trying to log in into my account and it was not working. So they prompted me to call Qantas. So looks like there's the problem is still ongoing, and I will have to solve it with them. So this has been a situation, and let's face it, this is not something that happened just with Qantas. We have had so many companies in Australia affected by things like this. We had Telstra, we had the huge Optus problem. We had so many companies already being affected by hacking and data being taken and hacked in, and all of these issues. And again, we see yet again another instance where a company system gets hacked and their customers' information gets stolen. I think this is something that it is, in my view, unacceptable in this day and age, because every company is now requiring more and more data from you. It is ridiculous. They want basically all of your data, and you have absolutely no protection, because if you want to do a certain thing, they require your date of birth, they require your name, they require your email address. Sometimes they will even require things like passports and all of that. If you are dealing, for example, with banks, they would want a photocopy or a photograph of your passport or your driver's license. And these are very serious documents. And something I believe in my view, something needs to be done in order to protect the data from customers. I believe that if a company, and this is something that has been put forward already so many times, or should I say every single time we have another scandal like this appearing on the news, this is something that people put forward and keep on saying, that companies, when they ask for your information, they should only be allowed to have that information for the duration of your application, and then that information should be completely deleted, because this is what is consistently happening. And even though companies say that they keep on doing something to protect your data and to do this and to do that, unfortunately, the reality is it seems like they're not doing enough. In fact, sometimes we wonder if they are doing anything at all, because quite frankly, it is so frequent that this is happening with more and more and more companies. This time with Qantas, who's going to be next? It might be another airline, it might be a bank, it might be who knows whom. And this is something that I really feel very strongly about, because first of all, this data frenzy that we live in today, that every single company, sometimes even if you want to order stuff, and for example, I already did a video about the case of Amazon, where people are basically spied upon, where they put cookies on your browser and they actually know exactly everything that you do. I think that, quite frankly, should be illegal and they should not be allowed to do that. Moreover, I don't think, for example, if you just need to order, I don't know, a pencil case, a pencil set, I don't think you need to provide that much data. You need to provide your address for them to send it back to you, your email, that's it. We have the problem with the credit cards as well. It's another issue that, for example, if you are buying online, they need to get the details of your credit card. And of course, you understand that that's something we can't really run from. But I believe that more and more security features should be put in place. And these companies, all of them, not just Qantas, not just Amazon, not just one or two companies, all of them, they should be forced to put more security in their systems and, quite frankly, retain only what they needed to retain. They don't need to get all your information. They don't need to retain, for example, your passport details, your driver's license details, if you are just opening an account. If they got that detail, if they got that passport, if they got that driver's license, they are satisfied that the person that is applying for that account is you, then that data should be deleted and should not be kept in any shape or form within their systems, because this is what is causing this issue. These people, these criminals, know these companies have no protection, they have no good systems in place, and they know they have a lot of data that they can use, that they can sell, and they can make a lot of money out of, and of course jeopardizing the identity of thousands, in this case almost 6 million people. And this is what moves them to keep going and keep doing this. So I believe not only in Australia, I believe this is worldwide. Governments should start looking at this and should start requiring these companies to have very, very strict safety measures, and in regards to certain types of documents, certain types of data, they should be required to delete it immediately after an application is approved, because they don't need to keep that sort of information within their systems. And I think if they are satisfied the person has proven their identity, that's all they need. The same with Qantas. Of course, there's no passport involved or anything like that. They said it was just a frequent flyer details. But as I said in the beginning of this video, they already have your name, they already have your date of birth, they have your email account. I think they already have a lot of information on people that should have never been leaked, that should have never been provided. And according to Australian Aviation, the ACA used AI to pose as an employee. This is unacceptable. Companies must be aware that now we have this AI where you can pose as anything, you can put videos, and I have already also said about this, you can put videos that you look at the video and is someone talking and you see and you think is that person, and it's not, it's fake. And we've seen a lot of that. Unfortunately, social media is full of these sort of fake videos and fake news, and which I also quite frankly think it should be another thing that should be eradicated, because it always is only causing trouble. So we know that we have this AI. We know that criminals are using this AI to create all sorts of things and to pose as people, to put fake videos of people. I have seen a fake video of the president of Portugal having a supposed press release, a press conference, where he says really damaging things about the Portuguese language that I then realized it was fake. He never did that. So, and when you have something like that, you can imagine what else could they do with it. So I think companies themselves should start thinking of putting even more strict measures in place, so an employee alone cannot require a provider, a contractor, to provide customers' data or anything else for that matter without being double checked. I think this is what, if this is proven to be the case, that is what, in my view, is part of the problem. We need to be so trusting these days. Unfortunately, we cannot be this trusting because of all of these issues, of all of these problems, and we know that AI came to aggravate the problems, not solving them in most cases, and in this particular case, it does not solve at all. And I believe that someone, just one employee having, we know it was not a real employee, but it was AI posing as one. So I believe that one employee having the power to require another provider, it says it was from the Philippines. I think the country where the provider was based, it's irrelevant. What matters here is that someone posing as an employee or an employee could ask this provider to give them all this information without being cross-checked, without being verified, nothing. So the same way that it was AI, it was a criminal using AI to do this, it could also be an employee that wanted, for example, to sabotage the company or do something terribly wrong, and he would have done it as well. So I think this is also something that companies should look at and should see how they set the permissions to certain tasks within the company. And in this particular case, and at the stage we are in, I would say that no task, no critical task as providing customers, clients' information should be performed and allowed just by one person alone. It should always have some sort of cross-checking and cross-examination to be sure that that person was requiring information because it was really needed by the company, that that person had access to that particular information. This is my opinion on this. This is why I feel very, very aggravated about this situation, because not because it was with Qantas. I feel the same way about all the other companies that had exactly the same type of issues, and it seems like they're not learning with each other, because now it's Qantas. I'm pretty sure this was not the last case, and soon we'll have another company and another, because this is what has been happening. And this is what gets me really, really mad, is that they don't learn from the other companies' mistakes. They just keep on going what they do. They think they know better and they keep on going, and then they're the next victim. So how many more customers need to have their identities stolen for all these governments, not just the Australian government, all these governments and all these companies to do something about this issue? Because this issue is not going to go anywhere, I don't think. AI is here to stay, and this is not going to go anywhere. If anything, it's going to get worse. So they either start doing something to counteract this, to prevent something like this to happen again, or this will keep going, and it will keep going and going and going, and it will become bigger and bigger and bigger, and possibly more information will get stolen. So I think, in my view, this, and my criticism is not just of Qantas, is of all the other companies that got hacked and fell in the same predicament as Qantas is at the moment. I believe is gross negligence from all of them, because they fail, and that's what this class action is claiming, and I believe they are right. That's why I put my name down. They are failing to put measures in place to protect the information that they collect from their customers that should be protected. I believe that these companies, all of them, are the ones at fault. Hackers will always be hackers. They will always try to steal whatever they can. This is what we live in today. Unfortunately, there's a lot of scams, there's a lot of criminals that will do the best they can to take advantage of you. And these companies, these big, powerful companies, that have lots and lots and lots of names, lots of customers, lots of data in their systems, they are the ones that have the duty to create measures in place so the data from those customers is protected. It is unacceptable that after so many cases, so many scandals with so many important companies, and I'm giving the example of Australia because that's where I live and that's the one I know better, we still see things like this happening. Something needs to be done. And I think if regulation is not put in place in regards to these data protection laws, nothing of this will be done. Because companies will just keep on doing what they're doing, they will think they know better, and this will keep on going. And that's not right. I don't think that giving one person such a power to require the information of the clients in the system without any cross-checking, without any verification, I don't think it's a very good system at all. Vanessa Hudson has said that they put extra measures in place. Is this why I cannot log into my frequent flyer account at the moment? Maybe, but it's a little bit too late, isn't it? And by the way, I'm the holder of the account. Instead of blocking my account, why didn't they send me an email and prompt me to do something? Call them, something like that. I would have done so. So we need more protection. We really need real protection, real measures. We don't want CEOs to come to the news or put a nice press release or go on a nice press conference saying, we do really care about your data. We do really care about what's going on. We are doing our best to protect your data. We don't want that. We don't need that. We want action. I think that's what we need. We need action. Before with the telcos, it was information of many users, was telcos down. It was a lot of heartache, a lot of issues that were caused by this sort of nonsense. Are we going to keep on going with this sort of nonsense? Because seriously, it's getting to a point that something really needs to be done. It's not acceptable in this day and age that something like this, that a pedestrian type of attack like this happens. Because quite frankly, someone posing as an employee and getting the information from a provider just like that, wow, I would say that for a company like Qantas, or for a big bank, or for a big telco company, it would take more than this to get to the information of their customers. So I think it's not enough. And I'm going to leave the link for the class action. You can join. They say that if you are a frequent flyer, if you have been contacted by Qantas, etc., that you can join the class action. The reason I signed in is not really, I'm not waiting for any compensation. I'm not waiting for any money or anything like that. It's not, that wasn't what moved me to be a part of this. The reason I joined in was because I want to be heard. I want to show my disappointment, my upset about what happened, and how Qantas, in this particular case, Qantas, dealt with my details. That's what moved me to be a part of this class action, to sign in for the class action. I am not sure what's going to come out of it. I am not sure if there's any compensation that's going to be granted. That's not really what I intended with joining in. My reason for joining in this class action was because I think we need to have our voice heard, because our data is constantly being taken for all these companies. Basically, you cannot do anything today that does not entail you to provide some form of data, personal data, to a company or service. And if you are required to provide this sort of data, you must be ensured that your data is protected at all costs and at all time. That's what I believe. And that's the reason why I did this video about what happened to Qantas. And that's all for today. I hope you liked this Gadget Report today. I know it's not one of those very gadgety gadget reports, but it is gadget related, obviously. And if you are a Qantas frequent flyer, I'm pretty sure you are really upset about this, and you want some sort of resolution about that. You want assurances that your data is protected and no one is using your details for anything. So I decided to do this not only to inform you about what is going on with Qantas, but also to let you know about this class action and leave you the link. As I said, I'm going to leave all the links below, the Australian Aviation article, the explanation of the whole class action with Maurice Blackburn, the law firm that is doing this class action, and of course the link for you to sign in if you are a frequent flyer and you are deemed to be involved in this. All the people involved, Qantas has sent an email, so you should have an email from Qantas informing you and providing you all the information about this hacking issue. So if you did, then I think you are eligible to sign in with this class action. So I'll leave all the links below so you can not only read the articles, read all the information about what happened, and of course sign in if you believe you are eligible to do so. And put a like and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. As I said, my clients, so sorry. I'm getting a little confused here. My channel has been growing. I'm very, very happy for that. But I would love you to put a like. And if you put a like, if you comment, if you subscribe, you signal the YouTube algorithm that my content has had more viewers, more subscribers, comments, and it's generating all this movement in the channel. And of course, they will show, or it will show my content to more people. And of course, that will lead to the channel growing even more. So please, if you liked it, put a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get a notification of a new Gadget Report every week. Once again, before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.